Hey guys, good morning. Today we're taking a look at 1 Samuel chapter 9, and we see that this is the chapter where Samuel meets Saul, and Saul is God tells Samuel that, hey, this man's about to be king. You're going to anoint him as king, and we'll see that coming in the next day or two, and we'll start seeing that come to fruit. But here is Saul. His father told him, hey, listen, I lost some donkeys. Take a servant, go find the donkeys. So he's just out looking for his donkeys, looking for his possessions, looking for what is his. And his servant says, hey, there's they came to one town, and they were about to head home. His servant says, hey, let's go into this town, and they got, there's a seer in there, and a seer is a prophet. It's what used to be called a seer, we call a prophet. And, well, they decide to go in there. And I want to take this up in verse 6. It says, and he said to him, this is Saul's servant, saying to Saul, look now, there is in this city a man of God, and he is an honorable man. All that he says surely comes to pass. So let us go there, perhaps. He can show us the way that we should go. And, luckily for us these days, we don't have to go and find a prophet to get access to the Word of God, to get access to what God says. You see, they did. But because of the work of Christ on the cross, and because he bridged that gap, we can now go directly to God ourselves. We have the Word of God. We ought to have that relationship with God that we can just go directly to him, that we don't have to. Now, the Bible does teach us, yes, that there is wisdom. There's wisdom in abundance, and in abundance of friends, of counsel. And it's okay to ask advices, but we ought to be going to God directly ourselves. We ought to be praying at all times without ceasing. And I'm not talking about walking around on your knees going like this. I'm talking about we ought to always have constant communion with God, constant communication, just constant listening for his voice and his will, and constant talking and letting him know your thoughts, your feelings, letting him know what you see. We ought to have that. Listen, Jesus paid an incredible price for us to have this opportunity. What are we doing with it? The Lord still has his prophets, and there are still people that will speak words into our lives. And that's great, and those are meant to encourage and build up the church. Those are meant, and they have their place. But they don't take the place of your personal, everyday relationship with Christ. So, look now, there's a man in the city. Let's go there and ask him what we should do. We don't live under that anymore. Go to God. Let him tell you what you should do. This is a great opportunity that we have. It's a great privilege, and more so, it's also a responsibility as a Bible-believing Christian to have a relationship with the one who created you. Have a super day, guys. I love you all.